Yes, we are live.
Yes.
We are live. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Bhavna Lokhwani. Uh, Welcome to today's session for financial literacy for women, FB Live. This is most ignored topic, and financial literacy in today's time is very important for women to become financially independent. Initially, we have to depend on our fathers and later on our husbands to take financial decisions for ourselves so that we can have a better understanding, and we should be financially literate by ourselves. Therefore, this topic is most important, and I would appreciate Dr. Bhavdeep Singh Ahuja sir to take this topic. And before starting, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Bhavdeep Singh Ahuja. He has graduated in 1998 from Punjabi University, Patiala. He has specialized in implants from BioHorizons in 2004 and 5 and in advanced course from USA in 2006. Apart from dentistry, he holds a triple MBA in hospital management, finance or human resources and marketing from three premier institutes or University of India, viz. IIM Pune, IGNOU Delhi, and Annamalai University Chennai, respectively. He also holds postgraduate diplomas in medical law and ethics from National Law School University, Premier Law School of India, Bengaluru, and he holds disaster management, financial management, and bioinformatics degree from amongst many more from different universities. He's a certified healthcare waste manager from IGNOU and is qualified in consumer law as well. He's an academically oriented dentist and has more than 250 original scientific publications to his credit in many international and national journals. He has authorized 5 books on different topics of practice management, published by Lambert Academic Publishing. He lectures all over India extensively on the topics of practice management, medical law and ethics, and consent and finance for dentists. And he is writing a series on these topics in multiple journals simultaneously. His YouTube channel is exclusively for the dentist and it is famous by the name of Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja, and he posts many videos every week on these three topics for upliftment of our dental fraternity. Presently, he is into his 22nd year of clinical practice in Ludhiana, Punjab. I welcome you, sir. The stage is all yours. Please welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavna, for a warm introduction. I'm sure many of the colleagues, especially females, would be benefited from today's lecture. So without much ado, I'll share my screen and start today's presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So I hope my screen is visible. Am I audible, Bhavna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can switch off your video. Okay. Thank you. So guys, welcome to today's session, the FB Live on financial literacy for women. As Dr. Bhavna also said, this is one of the most, you can say, ignored topics in today's world. I fail to understand why, because if anybody is a professional or a doctor or a dentist, the primary education for both the males and the females for mathematics is till 10th. Yes, many of us hated maths, so we took up medical and or dental in 10+1 after our, say, admissions. And after that, we maybe went on this path to achieve medicine and dentistry in our respective professions. But then how come men become adept in finance and females left behind or are ignored? That is really beyond me. So just trying to do my bit for my fraternity, not only the dentist, but all the doctors out there. So this profession is for all of you. And this is not for doctor or women or dentist women. It is for all women, which I am targeting. A similar kind of lecture, although the presentation was a lot different over there, I had taken up with IDA-HO in October last year. But yes, today is a special day. This is one topic my dad was again very fond of. So Again, all my presentations will begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well. Of course, as Dr. Bhavna told you, I am MBA in finance, but whatever clinical part of finance I know, that is attributed absolutely to my dad. So surely it belongs to him. Thank you, Dad. Miss you always. This is my brief CV. Dr. Bhavna already told you about it. Yes, it is courtesy this MBA in finance that I'm delivering before you today. So today's topic is financial literacy for women, live on my page, Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. So let's begin without much ado. Females are not very fond of numbers, irrespective of the fact that they are excellent managers. I fail to understand why. Because without any formal MBA, dentico, I would say, or any professional female, they are actually excellent managers, I would say. So that is the reason. Okay, probably Abhijit, maybe your audio is on. Maybe you can just narrow it down. Some maybe hearing different voices. Sorry. So they, without any formal education, you can believe that they are actually managing the household pretty well, even if they are not being formally educated in mathematics or finances. They actually love to do so. But then this is the reason we need to understand why they say this line. They have a hatred for finances. They say it is not my cup of tea. I ask why? Why, ladies? Why it is not your cup of tea? The women and money bond actually goes a long way. You can say at best it is an uneasy relationship. At the worst, you can say it does not exist. The reason? How is the upbringing been in the past? Men being interested in finances, the dining table topic, money never being discussed in the family. Money being discussed is sometimes known as impolite in the family. So all these years of social conditioning where females say, "Koi baat nahi, tum ladki ho, tum piche baitho." That concept slowly goes in. Initially, we are dependent upon our fathers, then on our husbands, and then on our children when we grow old. I'm talking from the female point of view. So if you didn't have that scenario over there, you need to understand that if the same has been inbred into your mindset, you need to change that. So if this relationship is not is not a good one, not a easy one, or if it does not exist, it is time you girls learn to make peace with it. And of course, this presentation is not only for girls. Men will have an important role to play in this presentation. So why I've started with this part is because the first thing is that women need to change their thought process towards, I wouldn't say attitude initially, I will say the thought process over it. So as I said, initially on father, then husband, then children, son. Again, even here it is a gender bias, then on the son, not on the daughter in life. And that is where parents who have daughters, especially, they have a problem. If the husband is deceased, then the female is dependent upon daughters and the daughters on their husbands. That is where the problem comes. Whatever the son-in-law says, they have to agree to that. That is the problem sometimes. The mindset is not at all authoritative to control finances. We have seen so many females being in charge. The Pepsi CEO Indra Nooyi at one time, and the ICICI CEO, of course, now suspended, of course. They were all females, and so many others. You can see Open Up Economic Times, so many leading authors are females, especially Miss Uma Shashikant. So they have been so successful financial females. The problem is, I would not say that they hate money. Rather, they are actually made for money in that sense, because they understand financial planning for goals better than men, because they, without any formal training, are managing their household. This thing needs to go away. Depending upon others for investment decisions. Please manage my money. Don't do that. Be financially literate yourself. Of course, this word I have been using since now 23rd of August 2016. Close to 5 years, I'm taking, you can say, online sessions. Webinars I started last year, 1.5 years back only after the lockdown, since these were not in vogue at that time. But online education, which I've been giving since the past 5 years almost now, I've been saying this thing to men and women alike. I have never made any gender bias. Even a few of my groups have more of females than men. But yes, they still say, sir, we are in your group, but we still rely on our husband for our financial decisions. I want to get literate. I'm learning the ABC. I'm still a zero in finances. Understandable. Many of the men also are. We doctors, especially, if I have to talk from the doctors or the dentist point of view, we all are. As I said, majority of us chose our profession because we hated maths. But then come into your profession and finance, and Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja will come back to haunt you with their numbers. And figures and numbers are an eternal part of your profession. Unless you make peace with them or you love them, you cannot actually grow in life, because there's so many KPIs and metrics, they are dependent upon these numbers. So when it comes to caretaking, the problem is the biological clock or the biological thing only makes the females take a break. It is the men, it is not the men who will, you can say, will go and deliver the child. Only the females have to take the break from their work lives. There is no linear progression in their careers. They have breaks. Then there are a lot of periods of crests and troughs. Yes, there are loss of retirement benefits and loss in EPF savings as well. But then the problem sometimes is that in such cases, many people do not plan actually. They do not actually plan where they want to go. And this is the reason we need to understand that personal financial management importance or knowledge about that is very, very important. And unless we do so, we are not going to gain much in our profession. Then females act like a sandwich sometimes. They are caught between the financial needs of their parents and children. Parents can be in-laws also here, or their own parents when they have no brothers. In Punjab, daughter and girls are more or less same, because if there are brothers of the females, they are sitting in America, Canada, UK. You can say US, UK, Canada. So here the girls only are the caretakers of their parents. Or if there are only girls, then it's almost the same thing. Because the majority of the Punjab sits abroad. Very, very few families have sons actually sitting or staying with their parents. So there comes the importance. When they're caught between that, they actually don't make a rational decision. In finance, there is no place for emotions. So who has to make the sacrifice? The female, of course, because she is made for this. Yes, I understand from the childbirth point of view, from other points of view, but yes, there are many other scenarios where they don't need to take the crush or the beating. What are the financial pitfalls when they want to empower themselves monetarily? Yes, career sacrifices are there, but then they have encounters at work and home. The gender pay gap is there in many workplaces. The men are paid more for the same task than the females. There is financial illiteracy. That happens with most of the professionals, but even in a corporate scenario, you would find females actually discussing that. If something comes up, they'll say, I'll discuss with my husband and get back. Familial responsibilities, marital hurdles. Because once they want to open up their profession after the graduation or post-graduation, this hurdle comes in that yes, we have to now get the daughter married. The parents would say so. We don't know where would she be married, in the same city or in a different city. Then would we wind up this setup? And then whole case scenario, this situation makes sometimes understand that females' career graph is pushed back by a few years. When the active earning does not start, the active responsibility of managing money will not start. So that is where we need to actually, the females need to put a strong foot forward about their profession and be financially independent. Because there is one big variant in amassing money or in getting financially independent. And that variant is time. If you start late, you may put on the double money what you could have done 10 years back. If you start at 25 and start at 35, if you start at 25 with 10,000 per month, for example, 10,000 per month, and someone who starts at 35,000 per month at the age of 35 with 20,000 per month, double the amount. At the age of 45, the guy who has put in 10,000 from 25 will have huge amount of money than the guy who's putting almost the same amount in that 10-year period. And that is what the beauty is. What is the factor that comes in? Compounding. And what the females lose in this? The time. That is the biggest variant. And once they lose that variant, there is no catching up on that part. And when they lose time, then once the professional liabilities come in, and then the marital hurdles, and then the planning of the family. So there are so many breaks in the female's life. And once they start getting over from these phases, they are almost 40. Planned the family, now the kids are going to school. Now we can concentrate on our profession and be financially independent. So if you are financially independent earlier, you can build generational wealth. You can do what is more meaningful to you. Life is not all about cooking and pulling teeth. I say this to dentists, females especially. सिर्फ खाना बना रहा हो, दांत निकालना नहीं है आपके लिए. You have to do many more things you love to explore and do. Spending more time with your loved ones, financial peace of mind. And financial education is anyways priceless. And obviously teaching your kids, not the sons, teaching your kids to manage money. So, is it a good time to take charge of your finances, ladies? Why do I say so? Because COVID has actually shortened the world. We are lucky. Yes, sir, COVID has been harmful in many aspects. Our social life is almost finished. We actually can't intermingle with the friends and families for so many reasons. We can't do that. But then everything has pitfalls and promises as well. The biggest promises, apart from the losses that COVID brought, is that the new sojourn of online education that started. And this online education actually is a boon. The world is no longer the same in terms of education. Even I am doing workshops all over India in the pre-COVID times. Just resumed my offline this Sunday only with the IDA lecture in Moga, Punjab. But yes, you can still do an offline workshop and an online workshop both at the same time. No longer it'll be only the offline thing. The online education in many topics has been a boon. People had to leave their practices, their clinics, to go and garner those education credentials. But it's no longer the same. Of course, for the clinical part, to learn the clinical and the practical part, you may still have to go. But for the theoretical things, but for other things, other streams which are not, especially even finance. I've been doing balance sheet workshops also online. If I can teach financial workshop, balance sheet making online, anything else can be taught. I'm doing consent forms online. This week, the workshop is on from 9 to 15. Mine 3 topics are already there: finance, medical, legal, and practice management. But then this is the beauty. You have access to online information and the society norms are now changing. No longer it is like main do, mere do bacche, like approach, hum do, hamare do approach. Many nuclear families have only one child and they try to get on with their professions as soon as they can, so that they can be independent earlier and retire early in life, because that gives them the freedom to earn at their will and invest at their will. Once they are into their late 40s or maybe the starting of the 50s, they practically will start doing the reverse counting. अब हमारी retirement में थोड़े से साल रह गए हैं. No doubt, self-employed people like us, males or females, they can actually retire at any age. We can work till 75. We can retire at 55. It is a personal choice. But then that is the beautiful thing we have to think. That the mindset says, सरकारी लोग 60 पे रिटायर होते तो हम भी 60 पे रिटायर होंगे. So it is the time to shrug off the taboo and meet the financial challenges head on. So what will be required? A change in the work culture and of course, more cooperation from family members. We need to make our family understand, or the family itself needs to understand, yes, finance talk is important in the family, even over the dining table and even between the female household members. But then if it is the required change in your family, from you, I will now say change in your own attitude. I wouldn't say the mindset now. I will say it is an attitude change, which is required. You have to start taking more interest in financial dealings. I many times find females not attending the lectures since it is a FB Live for females. I see a lot of females actually watching on YouTube or watching on FB right now. So, but if it was a normal financial literacy, if I made the topic, would many females attend? No. Finance to हमारे सर के ऊपर से जाएगा, they will say. So you have to understand whatever is your relationship stature or nature, single, married, widowed, divorced, whatever, you still need to take charge of your finances. You have to overcome those hurdles and become financially independent. And the challenges will have to come from how you actually save and invest, how you tackle the financial literacy from now on, and how you balance the needs and wants of your parents and children in between when we become a sandwich. And of course, the resistance in marriage. As I said, this is a taboo which needs to discuss, which needs to go away. I feel the children should also be made a part of all such discussions. The government of India also recognizes this thing. My daughter had her NFLAT, National Financial Literacy booklet, given to her in 6th standard. And trust me, in 6th, she's in 9th now. In 6th standard, if I opened up the book, I would say I had difficulty in understanding a couple of topics, if not the whole book. For a lay person, lay professional like us, a doctor or a dentist, or for that matter, anyone who is not into numbers, the whole book will be in Greek and Latin. The problem that matters are not discussed. We don't know. It is all hearsay information. So as per the 2011 census, we may have this number increased now because the census this year might not be taking place. It will be next year, most likely. So there are close to 74 million, 7.5 crores in India, women, single women in India, either unmarried, divorced, separated, or widowed. So these category of females will definitely need to secure their finances better. And personal finance is not about what decisions you make in life, but about the few strategic decisions you make for a lifetime. And decisions can make or mar someone's future. So the bottom line is, if you will earn less, then you have to save more. Saving is the backbone of any kind of investing. Females are fond of saving, and they had millions and billions in their coffers, which was looted on 8th November 2016 by our Honorable PM via demonetization. ATMs were looted from females. They actually came out with so much currency from in their you can say wheat boxes, sugar boxes, rice boxes, in their almiras, cupboards, even their homemade bunkers, wherever they stored their money. But those were looted. But that gives an idea that how efficient a female can be when it comes to saving money. But the aspect which we need to add now here is that saving, if invested, could have yielded so many things. The problem, they never wanted to show their husband. And the problem with males also is they also don't want to show to the IT department, I mean to say. So the showing problem is not only with females, it is with men also. They store their money in cupboards, commodes, false ceilings, sofa covers, bed covers, even in the underground bunkers, wherever they can find the space, they store their money. You have to be wary of the fact that the pinkies can be stopped any day, the 2000s. Don't take my thing seriously, I'm just joking. So I hope this is enough for moral science lecture. Let's come straight to the point. How do women actually take charge of their finances? So women think that if we don't know nothing, if we know nothing about finances, it is a very complex thing. I would differ very strongly. You are born mathematicians. You handle the home budget month after month. That too without the calculator. And you know calculation. इतनी चावल में इतना पानी डालना है, मेरे को आज तक नहीं मालूम. इतनी सब्जी में इतना प्याज डालना है, whatever. Just you can understand my cooking levels. I am not that much into cooking. I do it just for fun. But your calculation levels, this doesn't show your nature inherent. This shows your inherent nature to do a calculation in that sense. So why do you underestimate yourself? So the biggest strategic decision is that action plan and its implementation. Rest all will follow later. So financial independence can be achieved if you have a steady income, controlled spending, and accumulation of assets. So females, you need to take care of all these three aspects. The steady income will come if you show your professional growth. There are less of breaks and you're stern on your decisions, but that does not mean compromising on family life. Controlled spending, I don't need to tell you about it. You know about this much better than me. But yes, sir, there is an attitude of YOLO sometimes. You only live once. That attitude has to go away in many matters. Because YOLO walo yago bhi aayega. You also grow old. Then accumulation of assets. That will happen only if you invest in a streamlined manner. So everyday decisions have to fit in that big picture. So grasp the idea of growth versus income, how the money can be fit into your realistic pictures of growth, how you should save and then invest to grow in life and to have the financial security. The bottom line of everything is आपका पैसा आपके लिए पैसा कमाए. Your money should make money for you. That is the bottom line. What most people think, money grows in a line. The more money you have, the more money you make. What rich people know, money grows exponentially. After a certain period of time, money starts making money itself. What is this? This is compounding. Many of the famous economists say this thing. Compounding's first few years are dull and boring. But when it starts picking up, it shoots up like this. And when it shoots up, trust me, there is no stopping by. So if you want to learn manage money, start with the basics first. Many females have their bank account except for signatures. They don't do anything else. Your bank account is your core financial record. Take the time to understand and operate your account. Know about the debit card PIN, internet password, and never give blank checks for money to anyone. These days, of course, you can do all things online except the cash deposit. You can do everything online. So learn the basics of that. How to do an NEFT, how to do an RTGS, how to do an IMPS. It is not alien. It was not known to us also 5 years back when these things had arrived new in the market. We the men, we the males learned it. So why can't you the females learn it as well? I'm as alien to numbers as you were. I have learned mathematics till class 10 only. So what about you? Same. These are the days of electronic transactions. Only, as I said, only we need to go to the bank for a cash deposit. So learn about the debit card and its working. What are the pitfalls? Never disclose your PIN. Even the men fall a prey to such kind of fraud these days. Of course, the females are gullible as well in that regard. But internet banking, how to go about it, you need to know in certain regards. Again, checkbooks are usually out of vogue these days. You do an online transfer these days. And the things are changing. Earlier, the NEFT did not happen on weekends or holidays. Now it is happening on weekends also. Earlier, it didn't happen on Sundays. Now it is happening on Sundays also. It didn't happen 24/7. Now it is happening 24/7 also. It didn't happen on public holidays. Now it is happening in those days also. Even if it is a holiday, your bank should be having enough of balance. So there are so many things changing. And if you keep abreast with all of these, you will be learning. Log into your net banking account, learn to set and reset your passwords. Create an algorithm for it. Alphanumeric with special characters. A few banks will allow us few special characters. A few banks will allow different. For example, HDFC does not allow the special characters over over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It allows only 1, 2, 3, 4. Not even 4, I guess. They don't allow dollar also. They allow maybe hashtag, at, and the exclamation cursor. But the normal bank would allow the asterisk, the and the percentage and the dollar as well. So learn about that. Make a generic password which should apply to your passwords. There is a caps also mandatory these days. Then there is a minimum 8-letter thing these days. So learn about these small things. If your kids are grown up, in every school, N-flat is compulsory now. Get hold of your N-flat book from your kids, fifth standard, 6th standard. Learn about the basics. My YouTube channel is a big resource, not only for dentists, but for all the doctors. There are so many things to learn. If you are a housewife who's watching the video, go to my finance playlist. There'll be huge things for you to learn over there. It is a good resource. Dr. Bhavna just mentioned in the beginning about the channel which is being famous now. Yes, I started it or revived it last June only. In 13 months, courtesy the 2 lockdowns, I have 365 plus videos now, all in a way to give back to the society. So to enjoy a long, comfortable retirement, you have to save more today. So what are the few tips to stick to the basics? You have to manage your money through your budgeting. That is your home ground. That is your strongest point. So once you learn to save, learn to budget, you should have the burning desire. What is their desire? To become debt-free. Men are fond of taking loans. It is you who can guide them. If the matters are discussed in the family, the men say, I'm going to take a loan. How much amount? 5 lakhs. Don't worry, I have that saved. Don't take a loan. I'll put in, I'll contribute. Just an example. The family can remain debt-free. Save more and invest and grow your money, because whatever you are going to take debt or loan for, that is actually going to eat up into your retirement savings, because that money which you should have invested, that is now going to the bank. The bank is earning a money or the interest over it. So no matter what your end goal is, your budget is the reason to inspire you as a starting point. If you don't have a starting point, look at the things which you are master at. That is your budgeting. Obviously, budget is again one way which can help you keep your habits under control. So many of you who are professionals, doctors and dentists, you need to pay off your student loans as well, or your credit card debts. Remember, education loans still might not be expensive, but the credit card is one of the most expensive debt. The average being 42%. They say it is 3 to 4%. They don't say it is per month, which becomes 36 to 48%. And they bank on you to miss just one installment. Along with your CIBIL score, which is damaged a bit, you surely get, you can say, entry for your late charges, late payment charges, finance charges, and whatnot. Then, if you're getting married or having a baby, all these final outcomes sometimes depend upon your budget and your savings only. How much deep-rooted you are in your finances. We need to have a financial plan. We need to know about our financial goals. You have to track every rupee that you spend, because a rupee earned is a rupee invested. T. Harvekar said, a normal person sees a dollar as a dollar. But what a financially literate person would see a dollar as an opportunity to buy seed and buy further seed to grow plants and trees from that. Just a loose version of that. So if you want to avoid the debt or the loan trap, you need to know your numbers. For that, you need to know where you are spending and where you are spending or burning your money. So consistency is equally important. Having a track of cash flow, how you understand. Professionals have this complaint. पैसे तो बहुत कमाए थे, at the end of the month nothing is left in pocket. कमाए थे, आया तो था, गया कहाँ? Because we don't have a track of cash flow. If we try to make this habit and do it continuously, it will become your new habit after 66 days. And I don't say it. The European Journal of Social Psychology says it. If you do a process for 66 days without a break, it will become a habit. So have a long-term focus and be determined to go about it. The best thing is that you learn from your mistakes and also be patient in certain regards. See various stages in the finances as per the female's life, various age groups, various scenarios. Number one, as a young girl, teenager, or unmarried, before 18, I would say, or maybe before 20s, I would say. So the approach should be to catch them young. Catch them as early as you can. The boys and the girls are getting the same education, but why do boys learn more than girls while the girl takes a few steps back? Yes, I understand the social conditioning is there, but then somewhere someone has to break this mold. We need to discuss this in our families. Even the men make a lot of few financial mistakes. It is not about the females only, or it is not about the kids only. The adults also make their mistakes. One of the most common mistakes in North India, people spending a bomb on their kids' marriage. They're fond of splurging their hard-earned money by dipping into their retirement savings. If someone gives them an idea that it is not about this thing, again, this is one of the huge positive points courtesy COVID. Marriages happening with the gathering of 20, 30, 50. I would say they should happen like this only. And trust me, अगर लोगों को किसी को बुलाया नहीं शादी पे लास्ट ईयर, तो लोगों ने माइंड नहीं किया, या अच्छा है जाना नहीं पड़ा, रिस्क लेते, ना जाते तो अगला नाराज हो जाता, नहीं गए, जाते तो रिस्क होता कोविड का. So this is where the relatives only say one line, खाना अच्छा था, नहीं वो अच्छा था, वो जो लगाया था ना फूल वगैरह वो बड़े अच्छे थे, डीजे बड़ा अच्छा था, मेरे को तो डांस करके मजा आया. All these things, foods and arrangements. Who's going to bother? Who's going to ask the bill? कितने पैसे लग गए? 30 लाख. 30 लाख? अच्छा लगता तो नहीं लगा. Who's going to pay? Ultimately it went from your pocket. So that is where you need to know about it. This is actually false spending because only one emotion is behind it. एक ही तो बेटा मेरा, एक ही तो बेटी मेरी. All this kind of approach is a farce. If you are dipping into your retirement saving for such a kind of approach, I'm sorry, you need to differ. Then adults, not only females, male and female both, adults, make this decision. I will invest from tomorrow. मैं कल से जिम जाऊंगा, मैं अगले महीने की पहली तारीख से जाऊंगा, मैं न्यू ईयर से जाऊंगा. वो कल कभी नहीं आता. Trust me, वो कभी नहीं आता. Procrastination about your investments. I can only guide you, I can only suggest you, but it is up to you who wants to take action. If you don't want to take action, I can't help you really. I have taken action on my behalf, my family's behalf, but I cannot tell you to take action. I can only guide you. So financial awareness is very important when it comes to children. We are discussing the first category. No school or college will teach money management skills. Yes, now NFLAT is there, but my daughter hardly studies it. Again, that approach is there in her also. Papa, aap ho na. That is the only approach. We rely on our fathers first. I tell her repeatedly, learn about this thing, this will come very handy for you. Kaun itna vella hai, kaun padhe. This is the exact word she uses. So the responsibility is squarely on us. How we mold our child's financial future. How we guide them in this cruel world. If we can guide them about good habits, it is our duty to guide them about financial habits also. But for that, what is the prerequisite? We should be financially literate first of all. If we are not there, हमारे बोर्ड में 60% नंबर आए और we want them to score 90%. Why? This is the thing you need to understand. If you don't know finances, why do you want them to learn finances? First, learn yourself. For kids, you can start them by doing small little gestures. Open a small bank account, minor under your guidance. Give her a debit card. Usually the kids' debit card can be, you can say, locked with a certain limit. 1,000 limit per day, maybe 2,500 limit per week. You can set the limit as per your choice. Many banks will give you the option to do that. put a fixed amount, and tell them to manage their money accordingly so that they understand the value of money. Ever since I started giving my daughter a pocket money, she has begun to understand this value a bit more. Theoretically, she might not, but practically, she does a lot. So, whenever somebody is given a power or a control, as Spider-Man also says, with power comes a great responsibility. So, yes, it is a world of online shopping and food ordering apps, Zomato, Swiggy. In our home, whenever the food is ordered, it is my daughter who orders it. She checks out all the deals. She checks out all the does all the calculations. नहीं, इस offer को मंगवाने में ज़्यादा फायदा है. And I'm very happy. We might be paying COD. She might be taking it from me, or might be paying from her pocket money. I don't mind that. But what is important that she's doing the calculation herself, which I'm happy to see about. I never interfere. नहीं ये मत मंगाओ. मैं decide करूँगा. I am the boss. I am the baap of your house. I will decide. No, I let her do it. This is the way they understand the importance of the same. So observe basic safeguards when conducting online transactions, how to go about those phishing things. Surely you can keep on posting the questions in the chat along with audience. Please, if you want to ask any questions, you can keep posting in the chat and all the questions will be answered in the end. Okay. So this way you can monitor your child's preferences and spending patterns. If they want an expensive gadget, put a price over it. And the price is to start saving and set a time deadline. Like PF as they do. For example, if it is a gadget of worth 10,000 she wants, let her save 5,000. Said, I'll put in 5,000. You save 5,000 first. Maybe 500 per month for the next 10 months you save. And I'll give you 5,000 at the end of the 10 months. And then we'll buy that gadget for you. That actually sets in the message for the monthly contribution. If she fails to contribute any 1 month, you also skip the same. This is to make her realize that savings will grow if the contribution is done regularly. These are the few starting points. If you have missed those in your life, don't let your children miss it. It is not a world of, I will learn first, I will learn fully first, and then I will teach you. It is the way of learn, teach, and do. Learn, do, and teach. You learn it, simultaneously you do it, and simultaneously you teach it. LDT. So if you understood this principle of LDT, you can put in the message, in the chat box, in the comment section, LDT. I want to see how many of you are listening actually. Put in LDT. So if you want to make them realize, you have to go in this manner. So there is more to money than just saving and spending. Introduce her to investment as well. And what investing does is it starts another factor which is so very much needed in a professional's life. And that is patience. If somebody does not have patience, even the parents don't have patience, how can you inculcate this to your children? Investment is all about patience. Doing it and forgetting it. So you can actually transform your daughter's life by teaching her the basics of finance. A child who learns about it will be equipped better in her adulthood to face these things better. So I would say don't gift her a lavish iPhone or a lavish dinner or an expensive dress, but financial literacy and money empowerment. That should be the biggest asset for anyone, male or female. I'm talking about the kids here. So use these two gifts for anyone's life. Education never goes waste. And investment in education pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin said it. I didn't say it. So the second category is a married female, working or non-working. Think to save even when you don't think you can. You're not working, you're newly married, you're not yet working because of the social culture and customs. Yes, many of the females resume their working if they're married in the same city, especially. They do so within a few days of their marriage. That is fine. But then make your home ground templates using. Budget yourself first. So sometimes, no matter what you do, you sometimes feel that I'm stagnant. The money is not coming in. Or maybe you're trying to save it, something else pops up. And that is where a few tweaks should come in, that you can save even when it feels like you can't. Because eventually small things, small little efforts can create a big ocean. And then that is what is the beauty about compounding as well. And many times people consider economic spending with being cheap. They say bulk buying saves money. Go to the store, Reliance store, Geo store, or a Easy Day, or wherever, a Supermart or a D-Mart or a Euromart. You buy more and you will actually save. If some things are wasted, if some things are overspent, that is actually burning a hole into your pocket. So the aim should be progress and not perfection. We keep on waiting for the right teacher to come in our life. Trust me, there is nothing called as perfect in this world. Even the Mr. Perfectionist of the Bollywood, Mr. Amir Khan, never got it correct all the time. He also had a few disaster of movies, I mean to say. Even his personal life, he has been divorced twice. So even if his life is not perfect, why are we looking for something perfect? The aim should be to just keep moving, minimum. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But the only aim is you should keep moving in life. You should not be stagnant. Perfection should not be the aim. So many colleagues who are focusing on just doing it right, they just won't do anything. Because only if you take action, as my wonderful colleague Dr. Anisa says it, doing something will only make a progress. Ask yourself why you can't save. This applies both to males and females. So is it a input problem or an output problem? A income problem or a spending problem? Dig deep where the money is going. The budget templates, you can create those. Go through your bank or credit card statements to see virtually where your money is going. Luckily, again, a good part of COVID is that it actually curbed our wants to a greater extent and told us that yes, life is possible in lesser amount also. And we suddenly felt that we were actually wasting a lot of money. That is the thing we have to realize. And then the FOMO approach takes over. We want to actually spend a lot of money on fancy cars, fancy houses, fancy watches, vacations. They will want it irrespective of whatever value it is. These are all depreciating assets sometimes, except the house, of course. Of course, if it is a beach house or a penthouse, then even that is you can say, a want only, not a need. So highlight the transaction by category in your budget template. Select different categories. If you don't know what the transaction was, write ID and K. I don't know. And then total up. What is this ID and K category or the guilty category? Don't make the template overtly complicated. Just try to highlight those things which can actually be the predators of your budgeting. And where you can see is by this whole exercise, you will come to know who are the guilty or who are the culprits of your whole exercise. And you may be spending some things on one stuff or the other that you don't even realize. And the money is going and you are finding time to actually distribute it. So create a roadmap for that. So you need to decide where you want to go. How much do you save and how much for what? You have to specify in your needs. As I said earlier, money saved is money earned. And whichever is the money saved, saving is the backbone of investing. If you don't save the money from your expenses, from your budget, you are not going to invest. Warren Buffett says, save mindlessly, spend consciously. We do the reverse. We spend mindlessly and save consciously. That is where the problem comes. There is no discipline in this. Why SIPs are taking prudence or importance in one's life? Because they are very disciplined. Auto-paid, automated. Every month, this much amount gets deducted. That is what results in a disciplined investment. So you have to invest initially and then spend. People do the reverse. They invest what is left after spending. So creating a monthly budget need not to be a soul sucking task. Just plan your bills, and then wherever you can make a cut, go about that task. And the more you can plan for it, the better it will be for you. Because it is not only about investing, you need to have some social life also. But just because your neighbor, your friend, your colleagues went to a vacation does not mean that you have to follow the suit. I speak this line very oftenly. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all those social media होने से पहले भी लोग नया घर लेते थे, वेकेशन पे जाते थे, नई कार लेते थे. सोशल मीडिया आने के बाद कुछ ज्यादा नहीं लेने लग पड़े, नहीं, वो शो ऑफ ज्यादा करने लग पड़े. But then that is the FOMO approach. The whole social fabric has been corrupted. And that is where the problem comes. Then the cutting expenses approach, as I said many times, the YOLO approach comes in. You only live once. एक ही तो लाइफ मिली है, इसमें सब कुछ करके जाना है, सारे एक्सपेंडिचर करके जाने हैं. And in that, sometimes people say, even my wife says this line many a times, पूत कपूत तो क्यों धन संचय, पूत सपूत तो क्यों धन संचय. This is a Hindi proverb she uses. Does not mean overtly, again, no gender bias in this, but if your progeny is good, why do you need to save for them? But if they are bad, even if you save a whole lot of jaidad for them, they're going to burn it away. So that is the logic. But then I need to realize that I am the head of my nuclear family. If my dad, on whose day we are celebrating this webinars, he did everything possible for me in my education, my career, and my even nurturing years of initial years of my career and my expansion plans. So why, being the, say, nuclear head of my family, why shouldn't I be doing that for my kids? Or should I wait them to turn 25 and 24 or 25 and then judge कि तुम good बच्चे हो के bad बच्चे हो, मैं तुम्हारे लिए कमाऊं कि ना कमाऊं? It will be too late for that time, obviously. So that means it is my duty, my responsibility to give them good education, good careers. And obviously that comes with money. And money in your profession can be different sometimes. COVID actually showed that reality also. For many months, clinics were shut. And that is where the incomes dropped down suddenly. The whole world was unlocking last May 19, 2020. Unlock 1 had started. The MHA issued guidelines. Dentist से दूर रहिए. Dentist मुंह के सबसे पास काम करते हैं. Trust me, after 2 months of lockdown, almost 2 months on 19th May, it was a shocker for us. Until ADA, American Dental Association, the father of all the associations in the world, intervened to WHO on this very day, 12th of August 2020. And they said, sorry, but we respectfully disagree. The dentists are not a harboring binge for a COVID infection. Not even a single clinic has been detected to be spreading COVID. That is where that rumors came to rest partially. It was exactly a year ago on 12th August, I remember, being this date. So this brought a certain screech or halt in the incomes. So if the incomes come down, you need to show yourself restraint in terms of your wants. Your eating out, your vacation, your mall shopping, your movies, of course, all these are automatically were stopped. But yes, in future also we need to show a restraint, even if the world is normal, once the things stabilize. So all those things need to be cut a bit. Sorry. So we have to stay motivated. Even if the things don't go in your planned direction, sometimes you have to still stay motivated. A visual savings plan should be a part of your life. So as I said, don't just keep on waiting to get perfect. You have to focus on progress first. No one will get right at first time, and no one will sometimes get it right in the 10th time as well. They may be getting it right for the next, maybe the 8 months before, but they will not maybe get it right 10th or the 11th time as well. But that doesn't mean you won't either. Don't learn from others' others' success only. Learn from others' mistakes also. It is damn cheap. You don't have whole life to commit every mistake by yourself and then learn. Learn from others' setback, keep going. Then the third category, the divorce, separated or widow category, which is a very difficult category, I would say. their finances become very limited, and sometimes they have to make a new beginning. Sometimes it is never easy, but then it is never easy sometimes for many people also. The only thing these category of females need to get over is the mental shackles. Yes, it is a tough time, I understand, but what is important is that it does not mean it is the end of the world. It is rather a new beginning. Maybe a beautiful life is in store for you later on. And all of that begins with Mr. Gandhi ji. I'm sorry, but the notes, with the finances, with the money. So COVID caused a lot many divorces and separations. Not that COVID was the cause, the underlying tensions which were actually eliminated because the husband and wife both went to their workplaces and met only for 2 hours or 1 hour in the night after their work. That actually just diluted because both of them were too tired to fight. But COVID gave them a lot of time to fight. So the tensions which were rippling on beneath the surface actually became turbulences on the top. And it actually outlined those issues that existed a long time ago. So people just walked off from their relationships. Maybe who walked off does not make a difference. You walked off or he walked off. It is all about the painful it is anyway in both the scenarios. Kharbuja chaku pe gire ya chaku kharbuje pe gire. It hardly makes a difference. Then the bad phase then begins, the shared memories and the happy times. When you get separated, those times begin. You grieve over those memories, but the only thing is you need to remember that don't try to erase them. Just accept them and move on. You have to practice gratitude. Don't play a victim card and think, yes, I'm healthy, I'm alive, and I'm alive and kicking enough to go ahead. People will think, some will have this problem. I don't have money. I'm now devastated. So what? You can earn it. Your self-esteem is more important for your financial independence and vice versa. Fears are a mental disease. Don't give yourself that chance, because a healthy relationship will start from financial independence. Husband can pay for the bills or the holidays, but you need to know that you are capable yourself of doing it as well. So that is where that independence plays a big role. Then the fourth category for everyone, whether you're single, married, divorced, separated, widows, the one thing, and even for the males here as well, educate yourself and don't stop at just at the college. Education is a never-ending process. Keep learning. Education will never go waste. Learn about savings, debt, budgeting, money management, investing as much as you can, because these things are not going to leave your life for a lot of time. If you are into thinking mode now, you need to actually realize the alternate philosophy, alternate RIP philosophy. Again, the terminology coined by me, alternate RIP. You will say, sir, what is alternate RIP? RIP stands for rest in peace. What is this alternate RIP? Along with the basics of fire, am I transporting you into the Stoneman era? No. As I said, the legend, Warren Buffett, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Save mindlessly, spend consciously. People do the reverse. Save consciously, spend mindlessly. FIRE means financial independence and early retirement for your alternate RIP. What is this alternate RIP? Retirement investment planning. Plan for your alternate RIP before you actually rest in peace. And it holds good both for men and women, males and females, both. So what are the hurdles for women primarily in their financial independence? Yes, after childbirth, they need a break. But what is important is how they use this break. Apart from babysitting, the newborns sleep for as long as 17, 18 hours in a day. We all know that. So for the first few months, they have time and time and time only. They can't go out because their bodies don't allow it. We can understand. But they're not allowed to get up also and do major tasks of the household. Understandable. But how do you pass your time? Social media? Hell no. Absolutely no. You need to utilize this break actually efficaciously. Need to continue to network with colleagues, other people in the industry. COVID has actually shortened the world. You can have education from someone sitting in Kanyakumari, even in your workshop. Two of the females who are on a maternity break are doing my consent workshop these days, every day 2 to 4 p.m. Today was a break for them. They just delivered their babies a couple of months back and they're doing my workshop. They're actually utilizing this time. Obviously, I'm not disclosing their identities. What I mean to say is that. So it is important to remain connected in your line of work. Keep upskilling, keep learning, keep updating yourself, because this is going to come handy. Otherwise, you will be found wanting in your business, in your profession. Obviously, when you are updated and upskilled as well, it closes down the gender pay gap as well. So how much you save is the backbone of how you invest. Don't just buy things because they are on discount. Considering economic spending as frugal, as cheap, is not. The big billion days, the great Indian sale will come every couple of months. So remember, you don't need to do that. So to ensure that your life is free of risk, investment is free of risk, keep an emergency corpus and purchase the right insurance. If you're single, even for men it is true, for males it is true, 6 months of your expenses as a contingency expense. For females, buying term life insurance is very important. It should be at least 7 to 9 times of your annual income. For a normal professional, we say 1 CR, 1 crore of term plan is important. The mindset has to change now. It is no longer about mixing insurance and investment. You have specialists for the specialist job. You don't go to an eye surgeon for a gynec delivery and vice versa. You have specialists doing a specialist job. So similarly, insurance thing can be given over to term insurance and investments can be given over there. Majority of the plans available in the market were endowment plans, commonly known as money back plans. Thoda sa insurance, bach gaye, to paise wapsi. Money back. That is no longer needed. So to avoid the medical costs also, you need to have a health insurance as well for yourself and your children. Emergency budget is one thing so many of us were found wanting. First lockdown, 3 weeks, 14th or 15th of April, people in these 3 weeks had pizza parties and whatnot. They said, yeah, we are fine. Life ko tharab mila hai, bahut kuch mila hai. But then in 3 weeks time, so many of us were itching to go back to clinics. Meri EMI kaun dega? Who will pay for my other expenses? In just 3 weeks, nobody even had a backup of any kind of emergency budget. The emergency budget is for rainy days. The COVID-19 episode was a rainy day only. How do we need such an event to happen to make us realize? Then medical insurance, left find wanting. Mr. Akshay Kumar and Mr. Pankaj Tripathi पिछले 4 साल से टीवी पे चिल्ला रहे हैं, टर्म प्लान ले लो, मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस ले लो. अब तो उन्होंने ऐड भी करनी बंद कर दिया, अब तो नए लोग आ गए. But then even then people didn't take it. That is where you need to realize. So strategies for sandwich moms. Many of the females are jugglers actually. They are caught between their parents and their children. I gave you the example, parents who have only daughters or parents whose sons are abroad. So the daughters are the caretakers. It is not easy balancing their profession, their children, their household and their parents. But then finances play an important role. For that, what is important is to secure yourself first. If you are financially strong, you can be capable enough to handle them or help them. Oops, sorry, it shifted to the first slide. Really sorry. Just a moment. So this happens with most of the females. If you are not a juggler yourself, we were here in the sandwich stage. Yeah. So if you are strong enough, you can help them surely. We all become a victim of lifestyle inflation as well. Whenever our salary gets a raise, we try to shift from 2 BHK to 3 BHK. For a nuclear family, even a 2 BHK is good enough. I don't mind that. But what you can do is actually sometimes get, say, motivated by in the wrong sense from others. That if they have done it, why shouldn't we do it? Remember a few things, the ground rules. You have to save for your retirement. Even those of you who are professionals and are not working, you need to understand that you will not be getting any pension. And trust me, science supports it. Females live longer than males. So if you have worked from 30 to 60, you will live for another 30. Average life in India is anyways close to 78 to 79, approximately. But then you need to realize that if you live longer than males, you need to have a backup also in that sense. Emergency fund. Yes, you need 4 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months minimum, 3 months gross, 6 months average or expenses in that sense. And then term insurance, I said, 7 to 10 times of your annual income. Health insurance, again, a family floater plan. You can take a separate one for your kids or for your parents also. I've taken health insurance in depth in my various webinars. Those videos are there on YouTube. I'll be sharing the link in the end. So how to help your parents? If your parents are not having a good cash flow, you have to support them. But for that, you have to earn good yourself. Parents may not have money, stock, mutual funds. If you are financially independent or literate, independent and literate, I mean to say, you have to illiquid those assets, which may be in the form of property, gold, stocks, mutual funds. If the sooner you can monetize them, the sooner you can make them also financially independent. Patience is another virtue that is needed. People who start late want to double their money in a shortest possible time. So if you give financial independence to your parents, it will reduce your burden only in the way if you can monetize your assets. But for that, you need financial knowledge. Help them, guide them, retirement benefits in different instruments with some equity component. Today morning only at 7 a.m. I had a session, webinar. Best investment options for our parents / senior citizens, retired people, pensioners. So that video will be on YouTube, on my channel, give you the link. Do attend that. So buying an insurance policy with lesser base cover and a higher top-up plan. Always advise, I discussed this in the morning session as well. Sometimes the problem is that we start blindly investing on hearsay, and that is what happens. The root cause of that is greed. There is no diversification at all in our investments. And we are extremely conservative. Females especially, जब पैसे इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं तो best thing they do is FD करवा दो. FD in today's time, 5.2, 5.3, 4.8, 4.9 rate of interest effectively is giving you 2.5%. If you don't believe me, you can watch my video on YouTube on that. Then the last point, the biggest pitfall of females, the biggest pain point for men, the biggest sensitive area for females, gold. Women have a penchant for gold, we know it. Rather, they would die for it. Of course, not literally. But what happens is they buy gold, and then that keeps on lying in the locker and just has a breath of fresh air for 3 or 4 days in a year. The rest 361, 2 days, it keeps staying in the bank locker. And this is a common tendency also. घर में बच्चा पैदा होता है तो they will try उसके लिए गोल्ड खरीदना शुरू कर दो. किस लिए मैं पूछता हूँ फ्रेंड से, किस लिए खरीद रहे हो यार, लड़की हुई है, शादी में लगना है. इवन इफ इट इज अ बॉय, नो जेंडर बायस, क्या करेंगे, गोल्ड तो चाहिए होता है ना शादी में. ठीक है, व्हाट डिजाइन आर यू बाइंग यार, अपने तरफ से तो अच्छा बाय कर रहे हैं. सो यू आर बाइंग गोल्ड एंड पेइंग द मेकिंग चार्जेस. व्हेन इज योर गर्ल्स मैरिज, व्हेन इज योर बॉयज मैरिज? अभी तो पैदा हुआ है यार, मिनिमम 25 years. यस, 25 साल बाद की बेटी, आपका बेटा आपको कहेगा आई डोंट लाइक दिस गोल्ड, मेरे को डिजाइन पसंद नहीं है पापा मम्मा, मेरे को डिजाइन पसंद नहीं है. व्हाट विल यू डू? यू विल ब्रेक दैट एंड रीमेक द गोल्ड. यू विल पे द मेकिंग एंड द ब्रेकिंग चार्जेस, which will be sometimes as close to 30% plus. So you have wasted that 30% of the money. So what is advisable in today's time? Digital gold. And also this comes with the risk of being stolen, risk of how to store them, then the concerns of purity as well. If you're buying excessive gold to keep it in locker, I'm sorry, you're wasting your money. These are the options. You can opt for a gold monetization scheme, 2.25% tax-free return in MTGDG, medium-term gold deposit, or a short-term bank deposit, or a long-term government deposit. Scheme for 5 to 7 years, scheme for 10 to 12 to 15 years. Minimum lock-in 5 years, minimum lock-in 7 years. This is for 1 to 3 years. The rate depends upon bank. That is why it is not a GD, it is a BD. Here, they take a consent from you that you are agreeing to get your gold melted. जो आपका यूजलेस गोल्ड है वो दे दो उनको, आपको उसकी रिसीप्ट मिल जाएगी, उसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट मिलता रहेगा. लॉक इन पीरियड के बाद यू कैन टेक द वैल्यू ऑफ द गोल्ड ऑन दैट डे. व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑन दैट डे आफ्टर द लॉक इन टाइम. और गोल्ड म्यूचुअल फंड्स, गोल्ड ईटीएफ बोलते हैं, एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड फंड्स. 1 ETF is equal to 1 gram of gold. और आजकल जो बेस्ट चीज है, सॉवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड्स आजकल भी चल रही है 9 to 13, 5th tranche of this year. टैक्स फ्री ऑप्शन है टोटली. ऊपर से एक्स्ट्रा इंटरेस्ट मिलता है 2.5%. इंटरेस्ट टैक्सेबल है बट स्टिल 2% एक्स्ट्रा रिटर्न है. दिस इज द बेस्ट ऑप्शन. 8 years पॉलिसी और बॉन्ड, 5 years absolute lock-in, 5 years absolute lock-in, 3 years relative lock-in. You get the money at the end of 8 years. Then the gold deposit scheme like FDR in gold, offered by many dealers and even by banks. Then the digital gold option, MMTC PAMP of Switzerland and Government of India, or the Paytm digital gold. So many digital gold options are there. Of course, the SGB being the best. But why do we want to buy a physical gold is beyond me. An investment in knowledge will always pay you the best interest. So what are the problems plaguing most of us? The FOMO, fear of missing out. उसने ले लिया घर, उसने कार ले ली, मैं नहीं ले पाया. Then YOLO, you only live once. एक ही तो लाइफ है, सब कुछ करना है. That is where I say FOMO वालो, YOLO वालो, यागो भी आएगा, SANK भी आएगा. Yago means you also grow old. SANK means senile age is never kind. Old age is seldom kind. So if you're bothered, worried, and sad, let me give you the summary for today and wind up. Peter famously said, a decision that does not degenerate into work is but a good intention. So the decisions will always be at a high level of competence. You need to take decisions with conceptual understanding and expertise to deal with them through your thoughts, action, observation, and correction. And every decision will have a pure form, the right thing to do. You have to grasp that completely and fearlessly. Then deal with what the compromises are, if you're willing to accept those compromises given your situation. So grasp the idea of growth versus income and decide how well your money is aligned to your needs given the phase of your life. Whether you are in the adolescent or the unmarried phase, or the married or separated, or maybe beyond that, settled into your professional life after your kids. So what you need every day must be served by your income, and the rest should be invested to grow in value or a compounding, so that the compounding takes over soon. And if sensible investing is on your mind, you should commit to a good strategic asset allocation and diversification. Not everything should go in mutual fund, but then not every should go in FDs also. Not everything should go in PPF also. Not everything should go in NPS also. It has to be a mixed bag. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So if you are just putting your money in your saving bank account, that is giving you 2.5%, 2.75% these days, even that is taxable. So personal finance is not about many decisions you make in life. It is about those few strategic ones you make for a lifetime, which can actually make or mar your financial future. The rest all is implementation. If your goal is financial independence, you can't achieve it without steady income, controlled spending, and accumulation of assets. Make sure your everyday decisions fit into that big picture. There is a lot of difference between expectation and reality. Although many of you might be doctors watching this video, but this is a dentist scenario which I have given intentionally. Many a times people presume this thing, the expectation, the reality is something else. So if you earn well, pay good tax, show more in white, because you can invest only in white. Make that white money grow more for you. Concealing your income is not going to help, because you can't invest in black income. If you don't pay tax, you will still have money, but black, dead, and blocked. The theory of relativity comes into play. You know about theory of relativity. So the choice is entirely yours. What do you want to go? You have to make the financial decision. You have to take the call yourself. For becoming rich, the investments have to be optimum, but security also. How does the security come from? Term plan, medical claim, maybe some real estate if you have loose cash. But do not mix. Investment should not be for the insurance purpose. Investment should be for the growth purpose. Insurance should be for the security purpose. Never mix these two. Emergency fund, minimum 5 lakhs. COVID has actually raised that amount 5 to 7, I would say. Some gold and silver, minimum 5 lakhs maybe, or depending on your total portfolio, it should be 10 to 15% of your total invested amount. The gold should be there in that portfolio. And yes, if any of the other secondary income you have, rental, pension, money back, endowment plans, all welcome. So what is the carry home gyan for today? Women have to take charge of their finances. Future is unpredictable and unforeseen for everyone. We welcome 2020 with saying that this is going to be the best year. And it did turn out to be for us, at least till 20th March. But then लॉकडाउन लगा, जनता कर्फ्यू लगा पहले 22 को, फिर 24 को लॉकडाउन लगा. वी थॉट चल कोई बात नहीं, 3 हफ्ते की बात है, 14-15 अप्रैल को वील बी फ्री. 1.5 year down the line, we all know we are still struggling. Still, people are not open up in many parts. In Punjab, we opened up in the, you can say, 3rd week of July, fully for everything. Even the schools opened from 9th. खुलते ही दूसरे दिन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल के एक स्कूल के 12 बच्चे, एक स्कूल के 8 बच्चे पॉजिटिव हो गए. Third wave danger is still looming upon to us, because there is a latent period between the US and the European countries with India. You never know. By September, God forbid, we have another 3rd lockdown. And the peak is expected in October. It was earlier expected in September. But then these things will keep on changing. हो सकता है वो third wave छू के निकल जाए. You never know. But then what is unpredictable and unforeseen needs to be planned than be at crossroads. So think about it. Your future is in no one else's hand but yours. Only 2 people, God Almighty and you. They only have it. So the final carry home gyan for today: don't spend more than what you can make. Don't go into debt to impress others via the FOMO approach. Actively invest and track your network. Do not buy depreciating assets. So the moral of the whole story is, women, we started with a cup of tea. This should be your cup of tea, not from tomorrow, because that tomorrow will never come. You will then again procrastinate. This should be your cup of tea. And trust me, if you want to start not boasting of this thing, my channel should be the best way for you to start. This should be your cup of tea from today. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. Before I stop my share, just a couple of announcements, and then we'll call it a day. For the queries first, and then for the final concluding remarks. So this is my YouTube channel link, youtube.com/c/Dr. Bhavdeep. All my social media presence is by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep. So go to YouTube, and if you forget the link, go to YouTube and search Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. You will find my channel. So subscribe and hit the bell icon. I keep on posting a video twice every week. Till last week, from February onwards, I posted 1 video every day. Almost 180 videos in the past 180 days. So as on 31st July, 365 videos are already there on my channel. So this is my KYC, my phone number, my email, my address, my website. You can get in touch with me. Again, my social media presence all goes by my name only, even on the Clubhouse, except my page where this is happening, which is by the name of Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. So feel free to get in touch with me. So I run a few WhatsApp groups. So if you are a medical colleague, given the reference by few friends and my cousin, Dr. Abjeet, so you're free to welcome to join these groups. This is my way of giving back to the society in whatever way I can. This is free education being imparted by me since the past 3.5 years. And these are absolutely advertisement-free groups. Even my own workshops are not promoted in over there. So if you want to be added in these, just send me a message over here. or my number, I'll add you. They come with a set of rules. Do drop in your feedback on the Facebook page where the webinar is happening, or to my personal number, wherever you feel it is there. So bouquets and brickbats, both would be welcome in equal measure. So thank you once again. And I stop my share for the question time. Firstly, I'll be taking up from the chat, which Dr. Abhijit and Dr. Bhavna have dropped in for your case. Yes, let me just pick up the questions. Okay, Dr. Monica Obray asks, how does it make difference for a man or a woman? It's a generic thought process across. Yes, Dr. Monica, I hope this question was already answered. I believe the upbringing and the patriarchal society actually and the growing up years actually made a difference. And somehow, somewhere, a little bit of female mindset is to be blamed also in this. It may be a generic process, but yes, the females do take it in a way that बाकी सब हम लोग manage कर लेंगे, but when it comes to finances, they are more reliable on firstly the fathers, then their husband, and then their children, of course, their sons especially, I would say. So Dr. Aditi Borse Mahale asks, at suggestions at what age can we start debit card for kids? Mostly banks will allow this thing above the age of 10 years only, Dr. Aditi. Most of the banks, a couple of do have the option for 8, but I would say above 10, or when your kids starts becoming responsible, maybe 12 or 13, you can start with the debit card for kids, setting the limits yourself. Okay. So Dr. Monica Obray asks, why do we assume boys will learn on their own? It's equally important for both parents to be responsible and teach these concepts to their children, boy or girl. Yes, I agree. Absolutely, Dr. Monica. But then this has been the problem with our society. That is the reason I said in my presentation itself, whatever mistakes have been done, let them be the past. So you go on educating both of your kids, even if both of them are females, you go on doing that so that you don't repeat the same mistake yourself. So Dr. Ankina Joshi says, hello, sir, will recording for this live session be thereafter as I missed 1 hour session before? Yes, it was going to be 60 minutes. So you joined 60 minutes late. We started about at 2:05. So I just finished at 3:20 in about 75 minutes or so. Yes, in a few days, it will be on YouTube, surely. I'll notify in my WhatsApp group about this whenever this session gets online. Okay, thank you, Dr. Monica. Your query was still answered. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sumit Kalra. Any more queries? Any more queries? I'll be very happy to take. Dr. Bhavna, are there any queries in the comment section or not? Please let me know.
No, sir, these were only the queries.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavna.
I think, Dr. Bhavdeep, since there are no questions asked by the audience at this moment, I think we'll call it a day. And
Yeah,
I would really like to thank you for your insightful session into this women literacy, and really appreciate the initiative that you have taken in spreading the literacy part of it. I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following your things, not that we are related, but you know, you have put in 365 videos, which is itself a task to make. I'm a avid social media person, and I know how it feels and how much task it takes to make those videos, and then, you know, updating them with all the knowledge that you have, you know, imparted others. Myself haven't watched more than 50. You know, I was wondering how you know, how much time and effort you put in to actually make those. Anyway, I really appreciate that you have done so much for the community, for doctors as well as the non-doctors and anyone who is following. And I really hope the take-home message from today would be to start now for anyone, everyone, not only women, but for everyone who is watching this and wants to be financially independent. And hopefully people will really gather from the thoughts that you've shared on your social media things that you have already shared with everyone else. All the links are there. And those who are known to me, in case of any query or anything you want to pass on to Bhavdeep, may please contact me personally, and I would be happy to, you know, get your feedbacks to Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. And thank you once again, Dr. Bhavdeep, I think.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I think we can go ahead and wrap this up, please.
Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you. In the meanwhile, I have one query more. Dr. Parul asked, sir, we can invest 10% of our income in NPS. Dr. Parul, it depends upon I have answered this many a times. For a beginner, 0 to 3 years, I would say you can put in whatever you want to, but at least you should be covering the tax part. The tax part says 1.5 lakh in ATC, 50,000 in NPS. So if I go by that percentage, your 25% should go in NPS. For the middle road, I would say 3 to 10 years in practice, minimum 5 lakhs should go in. In that case, if 5 lakh is being invested, NPS still would be 50,000 only from the tax saving part, and the other things would come in because the bare minimum we are already covering. So that would mean then that NPS 25, which was 25% from 2 lakh, now becomes 10% of, you can say 5 lakh. So effectively the percentage changes, but the amount remains the same. So you can look at NPS as an option if your other avenues are exhausted. If your other avenues are not exhausted, you have to put in a little bit in your PPF surely, or even the full investment. You have to put in the equity portion. You have to put in the gold as well. You have to invest in other avenues as well, where you feel like term insurance and where you can say the health insurance. And plus coupled with that, what is important is that you actually put in some amount in, maybe if you have free, in endowment plans also for short-term goals. So if you, after spending those, you still have some spare amount, you're free to put in more amount in NPS. The percentage does not matter. The amount 50,000 is surely. And because NPS starts as early as 18, even if you start NPS as 29, up to minimum 60 is the age to withdraw. You still have 31 years to go ahead. Nowadays, the policy can be extended up to 75 also. So there is a lot of period. What is important is 50,000 is a huge amount per year to be put in for 30 years minimum. And this is not going to be the same. In the next few years, you will see the amount of deduction being given for NPS or ATC, all these going up because the cost of living is going up. 1.5 for ATC is peanuts, I would say. It should have already been 3 lakh by now. But then the government has its own plans. So I hope it answers your questions. Thank you, Dr. Namita Behte. Thank you, Dr. Abjeet. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna Lokwani, for being the wonderful hosts with me at the start and at the finish. I really hope this session puts across the point that I was waiting to put across, especially to the female brigade. And I want them to start from today onwards. So do catch a glimpse of my channel if you're not already have been. And I hope to see you sometime in future on FB Live very soon again. So thank you so much. And I stop my share over here.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Bhavdeep, again.